You guys got quiet.
I was about to say, on camera, we can be laughing.
The camera being turned on. Hello? Yes. I gotta talk Hello, ladies. How are you doing? Hello, gentlemen.
Don't want that to go viral.
So yeah, I was saying.
Thank you for joining Discussion to Action. All right, let's get started. Ladies, first question.
Because we stay prepared.
Okay, so for whoever wants to start first, define a good man. How about you?
Define a good man.
We tried it.
She laughed.
On this side, lady. Define a
Oh,
good
me?
man.
You said fine.
Okay. No pressure.
Define a good man. Anyone?
Yeah.
Any takers?
Or I was gonna start like in the.
If no one has anything to say, we can go to the guy.
I mean, I can. I just didn't want to.
That would be a bit biased.
So, when I hear a good man, I automatically think of someone who is committed to God first, who has a relationship with God, who has an active prayer life, and who allows God to order his steps. Because once his relationship with God is intact and in order, everything else is going to fall into place. So a man of integrity, a man of great character, a man who has vision and who receives his vision from God. So those would be some qualities of a good man.
Okay. Anybody want to piggyback or?
She did that.
Okay. All right. Guys, this question.
Ironically, define a no good man. I would just want to say lack of transparency, inability to have some integrity about himself as far as being honesty, not being able to be honest about, pretty much doesn't have the ability to be honest without winning or benefiting from the situation. Malicious, I would say just lack morals and just principles to live by on a day-to-day basis that would come from God or whatever that, but just on a more of a basic level before you can even get to understanding what that means to have a connection with God, but just those basic four core foundations, but just not a good person in general, doesn't treat people how he wants to be treated and only self-minded.
Inability to assume responsibility for his own actions.
Yeah, that's good.
So many men do that, bro, and it's just not a good look. They project onto whatever woman is in their life. They, like when a woman points out something that they're doing wrong or that they don't necessarily agree with, they automatically turn it onto the woman. It's like, you're a part of this. This is a two-way street. You did something wrong too. You can always tell the maturity of a man by how well he does it.
Anybody else have anything to say? Women, next question.
See, we got you on the short.
Describe a man of value.
Describe a man of value.
Value or valor?
Value.
Oh, valor.
That value is deep.
Like that's going on.
A man that can give me what I need when I need it. It doesn't have to be.
Hey, give it snaps.
An intimate relationship. It could be like a male friend. It could be a cousin. It could be, whatever. But just willing to basically be all of the things you guys described, and yeah, just be consistent.
Okay, I have a question. Do you feel like women actually know what they want or know what a good man is?
I'll say this. I believe that women have an idea of what a good man is, but the majority of them, to some degree, have not had the full manifestation of that represented in their life. So they may, in their head, assume what it looks like or what it feels like, but without any real experience with one, it's difficult for them to understand when they come in contact with a woman, or to recognize it if they do have it, or if it looks or has the appearance of one, but internally really isn't a good man.
That was nicely said.
So how do you think that can be changed? Or?
It starts with the men. The family structure is just decimated. We have not assumed our role as men in society, so therefore women grow up not understanding what a man is supposed to do and how he's supposed to treat them. So therefore they create children who they can't accurately show what a man's supposed to be like because they're attempting to be both, or they have a poor representation of what it is in the home or absent from the home.
Come on, Mark.
I know. Okay.
All right.
Like,
Next
that's
question,
like-
guys.
Well, that's a big one.
And then when they pass it,
It says, why don't you typically hear men saying that there are no good women out there?
Because we don't exist.
No, I was gonna say, I don't mind answering that question, is because we do one thing that I think women don't have the ability to do, is to take losses up front when the things don't look good. So if you don't meet the standard, or if you show signs that are cut off qualities, I'm gonna cut you off up front and keep it pushing. Like, and when it comes to certain things as a totality, I feel like men don't have that issue because we don't take it personal. And I feel like it's not a personal thing to take. If you don't mesh with me, you don't mesh with me. If I invested in something in you and we don't work, I'm gonna keep it pushing because I know the reality is nobody feels bad for me because we didn't work. So I'm going to move on and keep it pushing because as a man, the reality is we don't get the luxury of being like, she didn't work. He gonna be like, and bro, keep it pushing. Like you
Yeah.
go, be strong and keep it pushing. Like you can't be dreaded onto the next thing. And I think that for us, just me speaking personally, is that I don't take it personal. And when I did take it personal, is when it was a problem, and I talk about it. And then when it's not personal, it's something that happened. Just like a car passing by on the street, it happened. I've seen it. I experienced it, and I'm on to the next thing.
Yeah.
so I have a question. So you said that's how you, basically, your response. What do you think men in general, though?
I think for men in general, I think it's exactly that. We don't take things personal because we do things personally. So we don't waste time investing in somebody that we don't see a long future in, or we've already put you in the position of being honest about what we want and you didn't take what we said seriously. So if we say we're trying to figure things out and you misconstrue that, that is on you. That is not on me. And what I mean by that is that I've already let you know what it is, so if it doesn't work out, I have options. I know there's other women out there. So it's not, I never think there's lack of good women, because if I want a good woman, I'm gonna be a good man. Naturally, I'm gonna attract that. If I'm on, like I was young, if I wanna be a dog, I'm gonna go to a woman that's a dog house. That's just the reality of it. I know what I'm attracting. So when a man doesn't want a good woman, he knows he's not going out there to get a good woman. You'll be foolish to think so. That he doesn't know that he's not searching for a not good woman. She has all the qualities. He's out the club, doing things. He doesn't even want to show her. Like, sometimes it's the image on the outside that looks bad on the woman's side because he's there, but sometimes he doesn't put you in positions. You're not meeting the family. You're not meeting the quality friends. You're not doing any of those things that have factors and connections that connect you to him outside of him.
So then I hear two different things, because at first you said that you will cut her off.
Yeah, what?
But now you're saying, I'm gonna keep you around, but you ain't meeting the family, you ain't meeting the friends.
You said other guys. I said what I would do personally, but you're saying other guys in general. That's just based off what I see.
Okay.
Based off what I see from other guys, that is going to really be it. The reason why men don't complain about there not being good women out there is because men know what they're looking for.
Okay.
So what is there to complain about if I'm not looking for a good woman? If I'm looking for somebody short time, I'm not going to penalize her for being she's a short time woman. I knew what you are when I got into this situation. Now, when you hear about men complaining about that situation, is that when the facade is switched, when the woman said that she's cool and she's not interested in anything further, but he wants more than that. But you don't really see guys complain about that. They just keep it pushing and keep it to themselves. So the reality is that, like, men probably think there's not good women out there, but 9 times out of 10, there's so many of you guys Nigga, I'm being real. I'm being so real. I'm being so real. Like, you guys outnumber us. By the time I even have the luxury, like, the time I luxury of thought, I've already encountered another woman. So there's always another woman that will replace, like, just like there's another man.
Go. I've been waiting, go.
But yeah, see, the thing about that, and he's telling the truth in the process and how things manifest, right? But we got to be real, and what that is the deeper rooted issue is the fact that there is no healing. So if we're having a situation and we separate and we go our own ways, and like Godson was just saying, he go to his boys, they're going to be like, oh, bro, get over it. So the first thing he wants to do is not take it to them. So then he just suppresses it, moves on to the next shit. And I'm just talking about us in general as men, right? So then you keep sweeping that under the rug, and now it's this high. It's this high. And you taking that baggage to every relationship, pointing the finger at someone else like he was saying. But it goes back, like, let's just be real. This is a battle that we have going back. This is what my wife and I talk about all the time. Going back to Adam. As soon as he didn't follow what was a direct derivative to him, direction to him, he immediately blamed God and the woman. Took no accountability, no responsibility. So it's something that we've been trying to overcome a long time, even though we've already overcome it through Christ.
The first man did that.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a struggle. I'm just saying, I say all that to say it's a struggle that we constantly are going through, but we don't recognize it because we don't get to the root of the situation. We're dealing with the surface, or we might not even be dealing with the surface. We might just spin our wheels, moving on, and before you know it, we're 55, we got 6 kids, 8 baby mamas. You understand what I'm saying? But all jokes aside, though. All jokes aside, though. You understand what I'm saying? We end up 55 years old, 5 kids, 4 baby mamas, never really been married or was married for a year and cheating and got divorced. You understand what I'm saying? And then we still in the club.
Wow.
You understand what I'm saying? Because
no peace, huh?
because we're constantly chasing peace where there is no peace.
It's like akin to like trying to catch a vapor. You know what I'm saying? You're never gonna quiet that thing. So, and that's the problem with a lot of men is that you can't get what you don't have. And if you don't have God in your life who can reconstruct that thing and really mold you and shape you, then it's gonna be a problem. So, ladies, do not pick a man who doesn't have God in his life.
Thank you, man. All right.
Actively.
All right, ladies.
Hold on, can we sit on that real quick?
Okay, sure.
Okay, listen, there is a difference between saying you believe God and walking with God. The Bible says that demons tremble, so they know that God exists. But to follow God is a totally different aspect. Having knowledge of there being a God up there and him having power is not sufficient. Like she said earlier, the man needs to be somebody who actively and you can visually see him walking with God in his daily life. And it's evident. Like, you can't just give him credit for, well, he prayed that one time, or he gave me a scripture that one day. Like, it's a walk. Like, it's a daily walk. And if you don't see it, it's not there. You shall know them by their fruit. That's what it says.
It doesn't mean the man's gonna be perfect, but I mean, as long as he's walking with God.
Evidence.
You know, except a man who's walking with God, says, babe, I'm really sorry, forgive me. I messed up. Can we pray? Something like that. So I think that a lot of women, I think, are looking for Mr. Perfect. He doesn't exist. Men make mistakes. They're gonna mess up. They're gonna do stupid things.
And vice versa, we do the same thing. We want our women to accept our imperfections, and then we want y'all to be perfect.
Right. That's true.
So it's
When you say you want women to be perfect, what does that mean?
meaning if something that we've discussed is going to be taken care of, is not taken care of, now I'm justified in having an attitude, or I'm justified in now veering off and shaking the house, or whatever it is. However we throw our own grown man tantrum.
Do you think men actually want women to value themselves? Why or why not?
And do you think men actually want women to value themselves?
I think they do. I just don't think that they want the responsibility of what it takes when a woman does value herself. And I believe that because if I value myself, then I know it's gonna be certain things that I'm not gonna tolerate.
Okay, anybody else on this side?
Yeah, I gotta go on the back side of it.
Alicia?
Yeah, I believe absolutely men want women to value themselves.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. That everybody's standard is different of value based on their experience. What they're valuing might not be valuable to that man, you know, vice versa or whatever. But I think absolutely they want them to value themselves. The thing is, if, like he was saying, that's what I'm saying, if they don't value, if the man doesn't value himself, then he's looking for, and he's out there looking for himself, then it's gonna be a misunderstanding there, period, point blank, of him saying, oh, I want you to value yourself, but he doesn't know that he doesn't value himself. So it's kind of like that misunderstanding that you need to know yourself first. So men wanting something from a woman that they can't produce, like he was saying, my husband was saying, is what we're taught, what we learn, and we just continue to layer it on. So that valuing ourselves is so deep. It's like we need to talk about that almost. Like for me to even answer that question, like what is, I want to hear somebody's expression of what that means to them, to value themselves.
Well, what
Or
is your expression?
For me, valuing myself as a woman.
Yes.
To know myself, to know where I stand, to know what I'm going through, to know that I can make a decision and stick with it if it's what I truly believe. To be able to apologize, to be able to just confront myself and whatever's happening in the moment, to be involved and be present and feel like I can make it through this, I can do this, I can help, I can overcome. You know, I'm valuable to this moment, not just, you know, a basic general statement, you know.
What I was going to say to her is that when I hear women say that men don't want to take accountability for you valuing yourself, I just hear you deal with weak-minded men, to be quite frank. Because I look at it as a friend, just on the basic level, when people say value men as a woman, men and value women, I just think value the person that you're with as if you care about them genuinely, because it doesn't matter what gender they have. So respect should be given before you're even at the aspect of looking at each other. And what the issue is with women, I see, is that you don't even get men that look at you on the same level, on the basic level. He looks at you as an option, an item, or an opinion. Meaning that the opinion is, somebody told me that I should be with you, and I should be with the kind of woman you are, so I'm with you. You're an option because you're easy and you don't value yourself. And you kind of just around because you choose to be around because you don't know better. So it has nothing to do about a man, because the reality is you're going to deal with what you feel is important. So that's just it. If you got to jump through fire to get that $1,000, guess what you're about to do? You might do a couple front flips while you at it. That's just the reality. If it's worth it to you, you're going to make it happen regardless of whatever the struggle is. And what I see the issue is that when it comes to valuing yourself, you're not willing to put up that cutoff line as far as the basic respect, because you don't see that. You don't see that he doesn't even respect you as a person. Forget being with you. He needs to respect you as the person you are. So at that point, he can actually learn the woman you are and then get to being the man he needs to be for you. But there's steps at that. But most women aren't willing to take those steps. They're looking for something superficial that doesn't necessarily mean that they care for you. It doesn't manifest into true care or connection. I can buy anything for you, I can take you anywhere, but if I don't know your soul, what does that mean for you? Like, I can take you to the beach for free and let's talk about things and spiritually write things down and make me take you to Ruth Chris and think that you're special, because that $100 is gone and that time has been spent, but that moment we had at the beach where I learned about you allows me to maneuver life with you. And those are the things that really matter, and that's what gets lost. So when I hear that a man doesn't value, I'm like, well, you should ask yourself, why are you even at that point with that man? That's your fault, not his fault. You gave the capacity for him to treat you that way. So it's really
Flag on the play.
I gotta play devil's advocate. Okay. I have to, because there's a breed of human being, and I'm saying it this way specifically, because this cannot be labeled as a man, because a man has a distinct connotation and it has a distinct meaning for me. I can't speak for everybody else. But a man resembles something and exudes something. There is a creature out there of the humankind that does not carry himself as a man, who does desire for a woman to not value herself, so he can continue to manipulate her and maneuver within her brain to get her to do the things that he desires. I'm only telling you this because I've come into contact with them. They exist. So listen, because if you don't know, then you're a victim of what you don't know, of your ignorance. There are human beings that feed off of that. That's what they look for. They're trying to find those women who are stuck in depression or don't value themselves or have low self-esteem because they're easily manipulated. And so I can have all the perks of a good woman without ever actually offering anything of myself. Because I get her to view herself in a way where she's less than, so she's constantly trying to gain my approval and constantly trying to gain my gratification and my acceptance, when in all reality, her value is already there, and I'm just using it, and I'm manipulating.
So what is our responsibility, and I say that for men and women, if I can ask this question, when we have those creatures that you're talking about that act that way?
Well, I got to be polite, but what I would say is that self-actualization is the key. If I can look in the mirror and be 100% honest with myself about who I am, what I'm successful at, and what I'm not, and the areas where I need improvement, any human being I come into contact with who does not see those things or does not value those things or cannot speak to them, I can assess them properly. Because if I don't do it with myself first, other people can tell me whatever they want about me and I'll believe them. Because I haven't done it with myself yet. And then a lot of people, they look in the mirror and they lie to themselves. You can't really lie to yourself, but you can attempt to. You can try to create a facade of what you believe you are, but your inner you knows. You feel me? And so when you come into contact with your inner you and you can be honest with that, then that's when you unlock that, oh, well, I ain't going for none of that because you know your value. You've stepped into your worth. So when an individual who comes along who has no desire to be, give you any type of worth or respect you, you can see them coming from a long way.